Happy Sunday, everybody. This is Zach Said It Again. I'm your host, Zach Cooley, and as part of our monthly spotlight of all the wonderful departments of the Wythe County Technology Center, we are here to discuss precision machinery, and we have with us the instructor of that program, Mr. Shane Crockett. Thank you so much, Shane, for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, your circumstance, as I recall, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in this, was pretty unique in how you got the job. Is it true, or do I have you mixed up with someone else, that you are a former student of Miss Stone's when she was a teacher?
Yeah, she was my 8th grade science teacher.
Great.
So.
And I'm sure she was an excellent teacher.
Yes, she was. She was one of the reasons I enjoyed school back in the day.
Oh, wonderful. Do you have any particular memories of being her student in those days?
Just from all the hands-on stuff. I guess that's what stuck out the most. I'm a hands-on learner, and we were always doing hands-on projects. So a lot more of it stuck with me than, the typical bookwork class.
Absolutely. And she is one of those people, one of those rare people that is a true treasure to the education system. She's the one who approached me for doing these monthly articles to spotlight each and every single department in the Wythe County Technology Center, which I believe is so important, because it's so important for people to know, especially nowadays, that there are other options than college out there for them in terms of a career. Now, when you came on board, you came as a part of a panel. Is that correct? She asked you to be.
So yeah, my career teaching's pretty interesting. I actually was in engineering school, going to be an engineer, and got asked to be on the manufacturing excellence panel for like the younger, up and coming workers. I would say that's the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually talked to the kids about my experience in manufacturing and how it changed what I wanted to do and how it moved me to where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, Perry Hughes, that was at Wythe Community College, approached me and asked if I ever thought about teaching. I was like, I've thought about it, but I've never had the opportunity to really know what to do with it. And about a week later, he called me to ask if I wanted to try it, and interviewed and everything, and I started teaching. And that'd be 3 years ago.
That's this job, right?
No, so I was teaching, that's before this job. So I was teaching at Carroll County and at Wythe Community College.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have a very unique background, I guess, because it wasn't one thing. I was teaching college classes at the college and then teaching high school students in the evening at Carroll County.
Wow.
And then, so this past summer, Miss Stone actually called me wanting to see if I'd be interested in applying. And I was, because it was full-time, and then on top of that, I didn't have to drive 45 minutes each way.
Right, because I believe...
So that's how I ended up here.
Right, because I believe you are a Wythe County native, is that correct?
Ruby Tree, born and bred.
Ruby Tree, all right. Good for you. And do you think that because you are from Wythe County, and because I presume that you are, very young, younger than I am, I'm 38, would you say that because of your age and that you are from where your students are from, that you have a little bit better maybe a stronger rapport or connection to your students, perhaps?
Absolutely, because a lot of the stuff they're going through now, I was going through 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 25, so I haven't been out of school that long.
Oh, yeah, you're just a young fella. Yeah.
Right, and heck, I've realistically, up until this past year, I've been taking college classes since I got out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to help them with a lot of the stuff that they're going through, especially like class-wise, because where I went back and took an education degree too, I have took a lot of the classes they are, so I can help them with pretty much everything, from schoolwork to what to do with college to, financial aid, whatever they need help with, I can help them with. So a lot of them are more willing to come and talk to me where I'm younger and not one of the older generation, or however you want to word it, because it seems like they're more timid to talk to the older people.
Sure, they can come to you like a friend as opposed to an authority figure.
Right.
But I'm sure you also get that respect as a teacher too from the kids.
Right, that was one of the things they stressed. It'd be hard for me where I'm young, but I haven't really had any respect problems or anything like that. Like, they don't argue or hardly anything. They just do what I say, and that's how it goes. It's not a whole lot of argument or frustration on that level.
Right. Wythe County people are good people, basically, as a whole. I've been a proud citizen of Wytheville all my life. Now, was teaching what you wanted to do out of the gate, or is that something that just kind of came to you? I know you said you were studying engineering at one point.
It was kind of I thought maybe I'd like it because I enjoyed helping people when I was in college, because I helped with the summer classes, and I always would like the chance to try it because I didn't know if I would like it or not. But now that I've started doing it, I think it's what I need to be doing.
You believe that's your calling. Very good. Now, your program, Precision Machining. Okay. So can you tell me basically in a nutshell what that program is and what kind of skills your program offers?
So basically what we do is we will teach you how to take a raw piece of material, as in steel, plastic, aluminum, whatever it may be, and make a finished product. So it can be anything from the automotive industry, aerospace, even medical. I mean, it can be anything you can think of has been machined at some point in time.
Uh-huh.
And we can take you in. You have no idea what happens in here, and you will learn everything from the basics all the way through. So it's a class you don't need to know anything prior to. Like, we teach you how to measure, we teach you the math, everything you need to know, I go through it with them.
What type of prospective students, when you're going to recruit students, what type of interest would the students have to want to become a part of the program?
I mainly look for students that, one, like to work hands-on, because a lot of the stuff we do, you're in here in the shop. The ones that aren't the best book learner, they work really good in here. And the ones that aren't the college goers, the ones that don't necessarily want to go get a 4-year degree, usually they turn out really, really well in here, because it's something that you use your prior skills. You don't have to, have a whole lot of book smart education to be able to do it. It's more common sense thinking and logic.
So you don't necessarily need any collegiate training to have a career in this?
No, like, for example, my degrees, I have 2 in machining. Each one was a 2-year degree. And it is, when you walk into it, it is just machining, the fundamentals of how to do it, the math behind what you need to know, the operation of each machine. And then my second degree was more advanced. You were working in, like, more up-to-date equipment. You were working in what you would see in, like, the nicest factories around. So, I mean, it's not a 4-year degree. If you do go to trade school, a lot of people I know, some of the best machinists I know, never went to trade school or anything. They started working as like a janitor, for example, and then worked their way into being a machinist. And they are some of the best ones you know.
Right. I have a friend who's a machinist at Superior, and he's been doing that for probably 20 years, and he loves it. And there's definitely a large market for factory work in Wythe County.
Absolutely. Well, even all over the United States, it's a national security threat now, because all the older machinists are retiring and we can't find enough people to fill their shoes.
Right, right.
And around Wytheville especially.
every program that I have highlighted so far offer certain certifications and career training, like they get you out into the career field and show you what it's like to work at a job with your field. What kind of things, what kind of certifications and things like that do you offer the students?
All right, so this year I'm offering their NC3 certifications. There's 5 of them I'm offering them, and they go through like tape measure, calipers, micrometers, just different basic, the ruler, basic things for measuring. And also we offer the NIMS measurement materials and safety certification. And as time goes on, I'd like to add to that, but this is my first year here, we're just going with those few to try to ease it into them.
And the MC3, is that third level machine, or is that one
It's through Snap-on. It's for their certification for measuring.
You've not completed your first year yet, so you don't really have a lot of success stories as far as what your students have gone on to accomplish. Can you mention anything successful that you've done with your students in this year that you think has been successful?
Well, this year we actually competed in the Skills USA competition, and the student I took won it in his competition. So I thought that was pretty neat for the first year being here.
Great. You want to mention his name?
Blake Hedrick.
Blake Hedrick. Okay. Well, great. Congratulations to him. That's fantastic. I know that had to be a big thrill for you, being a first-year teacher and entering a student and having him come out on top.
It was neat.
Yeah.
So it was pretty fun.
Great. And Miss Stone mentioned this when I did an interview with her. She said one of the students, the precision machine, and since it's your first year, I don't know if this was your student or not, but somebody fixed a tile for the school.
Yeah, this was one of mine. He actually designed a bracket. We had a spot in the school where the tiles would fall in, and he designed some brackets and 3D printed them to where you could put them in and they wouldn't let the tiles fall. And
the tile actually kept caving in, and the janitors didn't know what to do, and the student conceived a whole gadget that actually held it in place. So that's a really amazing thing. Do we want to mention this guy's name?
His name's James Mitchell.
And that must have been a rewarding thing for you as a teacher.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at, I'm used to them doing stuff like that, because a lot of people throughout the community bring things that are broke and tore up to us to fix. And it gives the kids a lot of real world experience.
And do you find that the students that you have, how many students do you have, by the way?
In total right now I have, 10.
10 students. And is that in one class?
It's split across 2. I have 4 in the morning and 6 in the evening.
Oh, okay. So with a smaller unit, you must have a bigger opportunity to work one-on-one.
Right, and I get to spend a lot more time going in depth, because a lot of the time they all I preach to them to help each other, so they have learned to help each other when they need it, and we can get into more detailed things.
That is a great thing. And do you find that the students are pretty engaged, pretty enthusiastic about what they're doing?
Yeah, for the most part they are. Like right now, I actually have them working on a project, both classes. They're different projects, but the same principle. I hand them a print, and it's up to them as a group to designate roles of who's going to do what to make this product, and they actually have to go through and come up with what materials they need, what tooling they need, what machines they're going to use it, how it's going to flow to get everything done like a real job.
Right. And basically, the career market that they would have, what types of careers does your program lead them into? Is it basically just factory machining, or could it be a wider spectrum of things?
Oh, the spectrum's really wide. Like, they can go in as a basic operator. They can eventually work their way into maintenance if they'd rather do that, because it's the same principle. You have to be able to work the machines to be able to maintenance on them. It can lead them to be technicians in different plants. Like, a lot of places are going automated, so it'll help them get a foot in the door to be able to be a technician to work on these automated systems, to where you're not just running the same part over and over. You're actually maintaining the systems that are running these parts. It can lead them into being a programmer, tool and die maker. I mean, it can lead them to all kinds of things. If they want to open their own repair shop, they could do that. I mean, the opportunities are out there. It's just what path they want to take.
Mm-hmm. And it's pretty wide open for whatever way they want to go.
Right.
That's really nice. And with every other program that I have spotlighted thus far, there is a portion of book learning that the students have to complete. Is that true of your program as well, or is your program specifically hands-on?
There is a book portion to it, but typically what happens is the first few weeks of class is all book work, because we have to do safety and all the basics. Mm-hmm. But after that, typically you spend 1 to 2 days a week at the most in the book, and then we come over to the shop and actually apply what you're reading and doing in the book.
Great.
And then typically the second half, like where we're at now after Christmas, is when they've done the book work they have to do, and it's all stuff in the shop. Like I said, this project they're working on, it'll probably last 6 to 8 weeks. Okay,
and what specific project is that? Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, it's the one I was talking about a minute ago. It's their one class is making a screw jack, for example, and there's 3 different pieces of it. There's 4 of them in the class, and they are all designated to do paperwork-wise of like the work instructions, the inspection sheets, all the stuff that a factory would need to be able to produce this part. Plus, they have to make 20 of every part. So they have a actual number quantity that they have to run and make it repeatable. So they've had to go through, and right now they're working on proofing out their processes and seeing where they need to improve, what different tooling they could use, just different processes of how to make this part work.
And for your competitions and things with the young gentleman that won first place, mm-hmm. where do you take him for that?
We do that at WCC.
Oh, that's
at the college.
Right here at home. All right, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And just to close out, well, first of all, is there anything about your program that you want to mention to bring people in or encourage students to come in that I did not cover?
Not necessarily, but it's just a great opportunity for them to get some training in something different. I mean, because the machining that we do, everything you touch in life has had a machinist's hands on it at some point in time. And to me, it's very satisfying to know that I'm a part of that process. Mm-hmm. And you see something going down the road that you've had a hand in making, you feel a sense of pride in that. So, I mean, it's a good thing. You just have to, it's just hard for a lot of people to understand what it is without seeing it, because it's kind of hard to explain with words, because, I can tell you I make parts for a car, but you can't, you don't get a full view of it unless you see it.
Yeah, it's one of those things you would have to get in there and actually do and get your hands dirty, mm-hmm. so to speak, to be able to know and appreciate what you do. But I imagine it's very rewarding for the students to say, I made this. But the guy that made the tile, I'm sure that people will be talking about him for years at the Technology Center. We had a we had a student come in that figured something out and he fixed this. And, you know,
Right.
I imagine his name is...
Like, a lot of students bring stuff in from home to work on. Like, for example, Blake races race cars, and he brings a lot of race car parts in here all the time and makes them over or repairs them or whatever it needs.
Right. Well, that's terrific. That's terrific. And just to close out, what would you say is the most rewarding part of your job?
Oh, just to see the kids learning. Just to be around them and seeing them, I guess, prosper would be the right word, or just, you know, be able to go out and be a productive member of society, you know.
And do you...
I like seeing them just learn.
Absolutely. And do you feel like with you being new to teaching, especially in this field, do you feel like this is working at the Technology Center is a place you'll be for a while? Are you happy where you are?
Oh, absolutely. I plan on being here a while, I hope.
I hope so, too. It sounds like that you will be a great mentor and friend to these students. I'm sure that you'll make a lot of friendships along the way, and these guys will remember you. Thank you for what you're doing for our kids and for Wythe County. And thank you for talking to me today. I've enjoyed talking with you.
It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure.